It'll be 1 to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy, coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
Question here. We'll try to get a couple more. I know we've got a DEI press conference scheduled here in a minute, but Jeff will take a couple more and then maybe go out in the lobby. Go ahead.
Bob Margolis with Yahoo Sports. Jeff, when fans and writers talk about great drivers in NASCAR, your name always comes up first usually, and then maybe Tony Stewart's. And not often your teammate's name comes up, and he's got a missing line in his resume and winning on a road course. And could you talk a little bit about the importance of winning on a road course and how much that means to a driver's resume, to his legacy, and how big a hole that can be to not have that on your on your resume?
I mean, I think it's, every great driver, wants to be very diverse and be able to feel like they can win at every track that they go to. And I know it's something that, I'm really proud of, that, I've worked hard on to try to win on super speedways as well as short tracks and road courses. And Jimmy, I know that, he's an awesome driver, and he proves it every weekend. I mean, he's in the same equipment, that I'm in, so I can appreciate it probably more so than a lot of people can. And he runs very well on the road courses, and he's been getting better and better. The only thing I feel like he's missing is that win. He led a bunch of laps at Sonoma. We go test, and he's usually faster than me. So I feel like it's just a matter of time, really, more than anything. But I do think Jimmy's one of the greats out there.
We're going to take a couple more. We got Terry, and we're going to take Monty, and then we may need to roll on into Martin's after that. Go ahead.
Terry Blunt, ESPN.com. Jeff, last year at the end of the race, basically you were in a position where you needed the 10 bonus points, and that you said was a factor in how that turned out. You basically are kind of in the same position now. So if that exact same situation came up this year, would you do anything differently, or
I needed bonus points a lot more this year than I did. So you'll probably see me spin out 3 times going into turn 1 this weekend. I think I'm going to try doing it in practice more so than in the race, though, so we can maybe get some, maybe resolve the issue. But yeah, it played a factor. Jimmy and I were in such a tight battle last year, and those bonus points were playing out, and it was a great opportunity for us to win. And I was feeling some heat from Tony, and he had already spun out going in there, once. So I didn't feel. I mean, I felt bad, but I would have felt worse, just if he hadn't have spun out going in there. A lot of us were fighting that same issue going into turn 1. But this year, we're gonna push our. We've addressed, or at least have tried to address, that wheel hop issue specifically here in turn 1, and without us getting practice, it's hard to say if it's going to work, but we'll find out.
One question in here, and then Jeff, they said he'd be available out in the lobby if you needed him to. Go ahead. Last question.
Monty Dutton, Gas Gazette. Jeff, last week, Jimmy had a lot to say about Kyle being vulnerable, and it strikes me that, well, he had an off week at Indy, he had an off week at Pocono. If he had an off week here, there's no track like this that's remotely like any in the Chase. And it's also true that it has not been uncommon in previous years for people to coast a little bit in his position. So I can't help but wonder if maybe deep in the Hendrick Motorsports secret lair, you all are trying to turn up the heat a little bit.
Well, I mean, we're turning the heat up, but it's only against all the competition. It has nothing to do with Kyle. I mean, he's been the guy to beat for sure, throughout the year. I think it's really merely just sort of looking at the facts, I think more. You're right about the tracks, not being necessarily tracks in the Chase. I think right now most of us think more about momentum than we do anything else, about a team and driver that is showing the momentum going into the going. Right, but at the same time, and let me first say how I've always said how much talent Kyle has and the respect I have for him. But when you said people in the past have coasted, that's not Kyle Busch. That's not how he does things. He doesn't know how to coast. I mean, last week I saw the right side flat on his car, and I mean, the guy doesn't know how to coast. So I think they're pushing hard. They're trying hard, and they might win this weekend. Who knows? That's the kind of year they've had, where they've been able to surprise you when you least expected it. And I still think they're definitely one of the teams to beat in the chase, especially with this bonus points. But it's just like you said, what Jimmy said, they have shown some vulnerability. To me right now, if I had to put my chips on the table, I would say you got Jimmy and Carl that to me seem like the guys that are the guys to beat. Then I would put Kyle in there next. If all things were equal without the bonus points, I'd put myself in there just because our team's so consistent on all those 10 tracks that are in the chase.
Jeff, thank you so
Thank you.
much. Again, if you need Jeff, he'll be outside, and we appreciate Martin's patience. We're going to call up Martin Truex Jr. right now.